Hello, my name is Maverick, and for my speech, I'll talk about my experience in the United States Marine Corps. This is one of the hardest things I did in my life. The journey starts with a 3-month boot camp. You are stuck in camp for 3 months, and the only way out of it is if you quit or get hurt. According to the Department of Defense basic training attrition rate, Marines have recruits that drop out between 11 to 14% annually, which is 2 times more than that of the Air Force basic training. Boot camp for a boot camp felt long and arduous. At some point, I thought I would die. I think it was towards the end when we had to surmount this steep mountain they call the Reaper. Nearing the end of boot camp, we had to endure 3 days of obstacles to simulate what would happen if we ever go to the field. Food was rationed, and you only get 3 hours of sleep, or even less if you have guard duty that day. We also hiked everywhere with 80-pound packs and a rifle. I was only 120 pounds at the time. The pack is already half my weight. The rifle was about 7 pounds or so, which is not that bad at first, but after lugging it around for hours, it becomes very heavy. At the end, after you surmount the Reaper Mountain, you get to earn your Eagle Globe and Anchor. And with the blood, sweat, and tears you put in, you officially become a United States Marine. The whole boot camp experience created this brotherhood because we all suffered the same fate. Even after boot camp, and we all went our separate ways into different bases, some of us still kept in contact with each other. I would see some of my brothers again through the years, and we would catch up over a nice cold one. When I got to my first command, I would be able to bond right away with the other new people over boot camp stories. It was a good icebreaker and a nice conversation starter. You would share stories of perseverance and stories that we find funny in hindsight because at the moment we were probably suffering or crying. In the Marines, the rules are always very stringent. It was like that in boot camp, and it will continue to persist to every other base I would be stationed at. They even tell you how you should look. Your appearance always had to be in standard, even in your off days. The way you live in your room is also controlled. You have to keep it clean, which is obvious, but you have to meet the standard set by the inspector, which is always very, very stringent. I remember every Thursday we would have what we call barracks inspections. During this inspection, the barracks sergeant would don the infamous white glove and would run his fingers on every top shelf or crevice he could find dust on. 3 marks means you failed. One streak of poop on the bowl could fail you. A full trash bin could also automatically fail you. I was, luck- I was lucky enough to never fail because if you did, you had to clean all over again and get re-inspected the next day, which is usually Friday after work, when you already want to just enjoy the weekend and relax. There was this constant pressure that kept you alert at all times. We felt this in boot camp and persist even after. I was lucky enough to not be sent to the Middle East. I commend my brethren that went there and I highly respect them. At some point, I wanted to go as well because I signed up to be a Marine after all. But after hearing the horror stories from my brothers and sisters that went, I consider myself lucky. Lucky to be stationed in the Pacific Theater because even though I was far away from family, I enjoyed my time there. My duty station was in Japan, and I got to travel to different bases as well in the Pacific, like Guam, Thailand, Philippines, etc. It was a blast, and I got to meet people and experience a different culture. So, what is the purpose of all this? Why did I tell you my story in the Marines? I've been self-reflecting this past few days and pondered what people can get from my story. And I figured hearing my story, you'll find values like perseverance or the core values that I learned from the Corps, like honor, courage, commitment. Honor for serving our country and fighting for what we believe in, courage while overcoming challenging obstacles, and commitment. The overall experience taught me to endure, persevere, and have grit. Hopefully, by sharing my story, you'll find something in your life to commit to and see through to the end.